Today, I'm gonna share one of the cheapest portable cold plunge tubs out there. What comes in the box, what's the setup process like, and is this thing actually worth your money? This is the Inergize Cold Plunge Tub. Oh my God, it's so cold. These are the two boxes that arrive when you order the Inergize. You're gonna get the tub in the smaller box, and then the water cooler in the bigger box. When it does arrive, you do wanna make sure the water cooler is facing on this side up text, just cause it's like a refrigerator, and to make it work effectively, it needs to be facing the right way up. Let's open it. Boom. So inside we got the lid. So this is actually an inflatable top. I'll tell you why I really like that in a bit. We have the actual pump. You can use it to pump it up as well as to deflate it, depending on which direction you put the tubing on. Did I break it already? This is the actual tub itself. Wow, it's so small. And then there's a backpack carrying case that you can put it in. So I do have the Edge portable tub as well, and I wanted to see how different is this, because there's so many different brands and types, and really understand, is this one worth it? And I think the actual backpack and the ability to fold this up in here is much better. This is much smaller than the Edge tub. The question is, the value of a portable tub is not that you're going to be moving it every week, but let's say for some reason it's like wintertime and you want to take it down, or summertime, or you want to move it to a different room, or you live in New York City like us and you don't have a lot of space in the balcony. These tubs are just much smaller and easier to move around, maybe on a monthly basis, a semi-permanent basis. They're also high quality, so they're not like the cheaper ones that could potentially break. These are very well built. They're pretty much using like military grade tubing that's on like stand-up paddle boards. But look at this, it fits in here. I can put this on like a backpack. And now I can take this tub to Central Park. How's it look? Am I a fashionista? Not bad, not bad. The only issue is the water cooler is not portable, but the tub itself. If you want to buy ice and you're able to fill it up with water, you can take this to an Airbnb. You're traveling, you can check this in. It's one way to take your tub with you. Wait, if you do plan to buy one of these, use the discount code and links down below, code Shervin. It'll save you some money and it helps up with the channel so we can keep making videos like this. Now the water cooler, water chiller, whatever you want to call it. Founder and CEO wrote me a little letter. So one thing I do recommend is for the water chiller box, I would keep the box and the styrofoam just in case you want to travel with it. I actually did fly with one of these water chillers and I checked it in and I reused the box, so highly recommend. All right, inside we have two tubes, one for in and out, high quality tubes. A net for cleaning up any dirt and debris, sanitizer, testing strips, oxidizer, the scooper for sanitizer oxidizer, some extra replacement parts as well as little things that we need for the water cooler. And then here's the actual water cooler. It's on wheels, so if you lift up the front end, you can roll it around, which makes it easier. I prefer to have the ones that have wheels in 4 directions, so you can just slide it around and then lock the wheels like a desk or a rolling chair. On this side, it's pretty empty, but on the other side, there's gonna be a fan. So for heating and cooling, you do want to have a little bit of ventilation space around here, because that's gonna emit hot or cold air depending on the setting you have it on. Back here, we've got standard power cable. So you can plug this into a 15 amp standard power outlet. We've got a GFCI switch, so if there's any kind of water, it'll automatically shut it off. Make sure to test that this works. This is where you're going to put the water filter. This is where the water filter will go. You'll have to replace this every X number of days. And then we have our inlet and outlet spots for the hoses, which will attach to the tub to bring in the warm water, cool it down, and then send the cold water back out to the tub. And then on the front here, we have the Energize logo as well as the power button, settings, ways we can turn it on, change the actual temperature, and make sure our tub stays cold and clean. So that's the value of having one of these, is you don't have to worry about replacing the water. You don't have to worry about buying more ice. This will do all that work for you. Next, we are going to inflate the lid, because that's also inflatable, as well as the tub itself. So let's see how long it takes to do each one. All right, start the timer, here we go. Now we just need to open this up. We've got the attachment for the hose, goes in right here. Boom, now we pump it up. Boom. All right, that was less than a minute. You see that right there? Stop, it was a sub 1 minute. to fill up the lid. Sub 1 minute. You heard that here first. The one thing I do like about the Inergize tub is this solid lid, because on the Edge tub, if you do put it outside and there's rain, snow, whatever, it actually kind of indents the ceiling, the roof, whatever. I'll show you in a bit. So having a solid tub is just going to be more weather resistant when you put it outside. And it's easier to take on and off. The only question is, are leaves and products going to slip through the cracks? So we'll find that out over time. All right, as a timer for the tub, here we go. We're going to take it out of the case. How long does it take to fill it up? What's this? Repair kit. So you gotta unfold it, take these protective things out, find the pump hole, grab your pump, and start pumping, baby. I'm running out of energy. I think I could still use some more air, but this one is already much taller. Like, this is my hip bone compared to the Edge tub. It's a little thinner, so you're gonna be squeezed in a little bit more. Very interesting format. Oh, how long was that? We're 3 minutes in. I think 1 more minute. So probably sub 5 minutes, sub 3 minute to be able to fill this up with air. You can also buy electric pumps to get this done. Maximum recommended pressure, 10 PSI.
Oh yeah.
We're at like 5.
Get to 7.
7? Okay. I think it's good. Okay. So one thing to note is if you do plan to buy this, there are discount links down below. Use code Shervin to save you some money. Help support the channel so we can keep making videos like this. So one thing is, like, filling the tub is one thing, which we'll show you in a bit, but emptying the tub is another thing. We have the Edge tub, we'll compare them side by side. But right now, there's holes on this side that we're now draining the water out of. Especially when you're in a balcony this high in New York City, you need to have a way to drain the water. One way is to just let it pour out wherever you are, but like, let's say you can't drain it. Another way is to just grab big buckets and take it to a place where you can do that. And another way is to just tie a really long hose to the bottom hole, drag that hose to wherever you feel most comfortable to actually drain the water. So we're gonna drain this. We'll put this side by side with the Inergize tub, show you the differences, and then we'll fill up the other tub and see, is it cold? How do they fit with different sizes of people? And what the experience is like. Some of the biggest differences between the Edge tub and the Inergize tub is, if you look at this, the Edge tub is much shorter, so it can be a bit harder to get the water up to your neck, but it is wider, so if you have wider shoulders, it's easier to fit in. And then second is the covers. So the cover here is just like a regular cover, and if there's rain or water, it can actually indent like this, which is kind of frustrating. So if you don't have a covered space to put it in, this is not ideal for outdoor settings. Whereas the Inergize tub has an inflatable roof, so if there's water or snow, it's more likely to pour off and not actually indent here. So that's nice in terms of that. They both have locks for the cover, so it won't fly away or you can't get kids. The downside with this type of cover, if it's not tight enough, you could have leaves, bugs, things that crawl in, and that can make the water dirtier faster. So that's not ideal. And then second is the tubing here. These are more metal-based covers, whereas the Edge tub is plastic-based. So this is just higher quality, and there's a higher chance that it'll last longer. So those are the biggest differences that you can see here. Inergize cover, Edge tub cover. And if you look top down, if I climb into the Inergize tub, whoa, my shoulders are gonna be inside. I'm still a little squished, so this is probably too tight for me specifically because my shoulders are squished, but I'm gonna be able to get the water much higher. This is less likely to also spill over, so if you have it inside, that's ideal to have taller walls. Whereas in the Edge tub, I think it's easier to actually relax your arms around. Whereas I can't do that in the Inergize tub. And supposedly the bottom of this is cushioned, whereas the bottom of that is not cushioned. But I do prefer having a mat underneath the tub. And a big aspect is also the logos. The Inergize logo is a little bit smaller. It's in the corner here, whereas the Edge tub logo is rather big. It's more pronounced. So if you're someone who prefers that bigger, more pronounced logo, it's there. Whereas this is kind of just cleaner, it's more subtle. But both are pretty much the same material. So for the most part, you're getting kind of the same base bones. They're just built differently, different customer service, different warranties, different price, different size. This is the water cooler. The dimensions wise is pretty close to the Edge tub water cooler as well. Very similar, looks like hardware. I think the same kind of manufacturers in China. Actual buttons on the front are the same. I think they're both built by Temu in China. That's my guess, they use the same app. But in terms of how to set it up, very similar as well. You wanna put the strainer on the inlet because you don't want large objects going in the water cooler. It's gonna damage it. Once you got that on, then we'll screw this piece on for the hose. Next, we're gonna take this. You actually wanna fill this up with water before you screw it on. Fill it up, put the water filter in, screw this on, and you wanna replace this every once in a while, depending on how often you use it, how dirty the water gets. So that's good. Then we'll take the heavy duty tubing here. We're gonna plug one in the inlet, one in the outlet. Obviously, red on here will go red on the tub. Green on here will go to green on the tub. Pretty easy and self-explanatory. And now we will plug this into power, fill up the tub, and get it to start cooling everything. And since we're in a New York City apartment, the way we're gonna fill this tub is we're gonna use a garden hose, attach it to the sink, and drag that all the way to the tub to fill it up with water. It's gonna be a fun joy. We have a hose here that we're going to connect to the kitchen sink, and you need to buy an adapter to connect this to the kitchen sink, so let's do that. All right, okay, so what we do is you're gonna take the kitchen sink here, you unscrew the head, you get a small adapter that you can probably buy at a hardware store like Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever. Screw that on, make sure it's tight. Take the other side, screw it onto the hose. And now you can use this hose to drain and fill. Now we follow the hose. Cheers. The Inergize tub is thinner, but way more deep. So check that out. Another big difference between the Inergize tub is these right here are steel lids as well as covers, and that's really all it is. You just plug the hose directly onto there. Whereas the Edge tub, it actually has these bigger covers that you can turn on and off. They do stick out a little bit, but I would connect the hose directly to this piece, and then I can actually unscrew that. So instead of closing like this, I would close it like that. These, I would put these on to close it, and they're made of more plastic, whereas the Inergize is metal. So that's another small design change. I don't know what's better. I hope you're not using these very often, but something to keep in mind. Outlet right here, which is green on the tub, we'll put it on up here. I think that's one of the downsides with these. They directly point out, so now you can't put it up against the wall. And then here, boom. Now those are plugged in. We'll turn this up against the wall. Boom. That the hose is placed in the tub. I'm gonna turn the sink on. 11:12 a.m. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. All right, you gotta switch it on in the back. Now it's on. We're gonna set the temperature. Oh, this is a heater as well. What should we set it to? 42, 44? Let's
40.
see, 46. Now that we boot it up, it's going to start filling up the water filter, getting all the air bubbles out, and hopefully start cooling the water. It goes as low as 37 degrees Fahrenheit, and it actually goes hot tub mode as well. And I think it takes 2 to 5 hours depending on the ambient temperature on which one you want to set it to. So we're gonna keep filling it up. We're gonna let it cool the water as well, and hopefully this will be up and going very soon. Now we're gonna test. I'm gonna go inside and just show you what's the experience of getting in, getting out. How do I fit as a around 215 pound, almost 6 foot person? It's a stepping over. It is kind of high, so if you're a shorter person, like it might be a little challenging to step over into it. Oh, we're in. And now going in, oh, because it is thinner, it's easier to get up. I'm not sitting all the way down. If there was a seat in here, that'd be nice because then I could rest my arms. But if I want to go all the way and I have to squeeze my shoulders in, and now I can get up the neckline, which is really nice, but it just feels a little cramped with my shoulders. If you look here, my shoulders are a bit wide, and this is a bit too narrow for my wide depth of shoulders. I do have to bend my knees to go in, but my feet and my knees are entirely covered by the water, which is nice and important. I can get my hands in too. I can do like a prayer if I wanted to, but I'm cold right now. Let's see, oof. Here we go. So we can go like this far in and do this. It's not too bad. It fits. If I want to fit a second person, I could probably put my feet to the edge and they could squeeze in diagonally with me too. It'd be a tight fit, but it would work. So far, this is good. And this is kind of how I would fit. So let's see if we can test it with some friends if they want to try it. Taller tub means you just have to take a taller step climbing out. So if you're smaller than me, it might be a bit challenging, but it'll engulf you once you're inside.
Sherman's here. He's gonna talk me through it. How long am I supposed to go?
Like 20 minutes. That's a joke. I think 3 minutes, 1 to 3 minutes.
Yeah, 1 minute.
1 minute? Okay, 60
No,
seconds.
We'll see. Maybe I'm good.
But you tried the other tub too, right?
I did.
Was that one hard? How long did you do that one?
To like a minute in that one.
Okay. How much do you weigh?
145.
145, okay.
What?
Just curious. Like, how is a 145-pound man gonna fit inside this tub? I'm curious to see what you think, because this one feels a little different.
Dude, there's literally there's an ice cube in it. Dude,
It's at 50 degrees.
colder.
Here, I'll sit right here.
Oh my god.
What's it at, 50? Here we go. You ready?
No, I'm not ready.
Come on, you got this. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, hop in. There we go.
Ah, it sucks.
Slow your exhales, right? Breathe in. Slow, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're 20 seconds in, 1/3 of the way. You got this, you got this.
Dude, I do not feel good.
Almost there.
This one feels colder because it like just feels deeper.
It's deeper, yeah, it's way deeper.
Feels deeper.
30 seconds, you got halfway.
Mine
Almost
over
there.
matter. Mine over matter. Feels so much colder. Significantly colder. Ah. I can't feel
All right, that's 1 minute. Anyone want to go? How was that tub compared to the other
It
tub?
was so cold.
Haley has been using it for every day, pretty much, right?
How cold? It really is. A light 40 degrees. It doesn't get easier. It's not getting easier yet.
The only issue was because Sherburne told me that it could turn into a hot tub, but this model specifically couldn't.
Yeah, so this is only the cold tub version of it. It doesn't get hot, but there is a version where you can pay extra to get a warm tub.
I love it. I think this is like my favorite cold plunge by far.
How many
Yeah.
filters have you gone through so far?
So this is my second filter because it only comes with one filter, and yeah, if you're using it a lot, like we're using it every single day, it got dirty fast.
Yeah.
I had to buy more filters, which I bought like 12 of them just so it lasts me a long time.
Yeah. Is it dirty right now?
It's dirty right now. If you take a
Yeah.
look, it's dirty.
Oh, that's gross. And how quickly does it get that dirty?
Pretty fast.
Is the water dirty too?
I think the water's pretty good. Like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, put a new filter in.
Well, like it's getting like a little dirty here, kind of, right? You
Yeah.
can see the aging on the lining, but you can probably clean that, right?
Yeah, I use some Clorox strips or whatever, Clorox wipes.
Yeah, but you have it covered, so that's nice. And this is like still works pretty well.
Yeah, I mean this is keeping its firmness.
Yeah, has it deflated at all? Have you
No.
had to pump it?
This is like perfectly firm. I feel like. Same with
Okay.
the top.
So no deflating so far. That's good. The top is
top
showing
is
some
good.
age.
Dust.
Yeah, just dust and stuff. So you can just rinse it off pretty easy. Works. That's the sound it makes.
It does make a sound.
Is it loud?
This is it.
Yeah.
This is usually it. Like it kind of has like a little bit.
Yeah. But not too loud? Is it ever bothersome?
I mean, I just turn it off when I use it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Oh, really?
Just if I'm filming,
Okay.
I'll turn it off because it's like.
It's like a refrigerator.
Yeah.
But it's working. Slowly decreasing the temperature. And the tubing is held up pretty well. No issues there, no leaking or anything like that. And you can see the water coming out of that little thing.
Yeah, this is like if you sit on this side, the water comes out. It's like really cold.
Really?
Like, you know, like 'cause it's moving in the cold.
Yeah,
water,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
ah. I mean, low-key, it's a beast.
Yeah. What about emptying the water? How do you empty it out?
That's a secret right there. How do you empty the water on the balcony? You just wait till it rains and you just dump it over. I mean, honestly, it just looks like more rain. I would say, like, if I'm being like completely honest,
Yeah.
it is a little high.
Ah.
So like, I love the cold plunge because I can look around, but I'm pretty like in the cold plunge.
And you can't
Like
see.
if it was I don't think it actually needs to be this high. Like if it was like here, it'd be a little nicer.
Yeah. So for the most part, it's held up pretty well. Looks strong, still inflatable. Tubes are working, cooler's working. Filters just need to be changed. And that's pretty much it. Since you enjoyed this video, make sure to go watch my comparison of all the cold plunge tubs linked right here. I test them all out and I share my thoughts.